Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Brandon Sobotka. Welcome to Brand Backstage. Thank you for being here. As always, I appreciate you. And Brand Backstage is where you get a behind the scenes answer to any comment, question, or concern that I receive at some point in time throughout the week. Or maybe it's something that popped in my head throughout the week that I think is important, or maybe something that came up from the past that I think is important that I want to give you a little bit of insight on. And the reason that I'm doing this is because on the internet, you can pretty much find any information that you want. However, that information that you find is typically what I call the bricks. And what I mean by that is when you're building like a wall or a foundation or something like that, you always have the bricks and you have the mortar. And the content that we find online is really the bricks. It's the core ideas, the core thoughts, the core steps. However, it doesn't really get into a lot of the details the majority of the time. A lot of times, in order to get that, you have to buy something or opt into something. So I just wanted to provide an opportunity for you guys to really get a taste of the mortar, from my opinion, some of the details, some of the step-by-step of what it takes, depending upon the question, comment, or concern that people have. And the reason that this topic came up today that we're going to talk about, which is which platform should I focus on, is I fairly recently, probably about a month or so ago, ran into a coach who lost their job during COVID, all the craziness going on with COVID, and has always had a coaching side hustle. And during getting laid off, he felt a calling towards doing coaching again. One, he really absolutely loved it, has a huge passion for it. He loves transforming people's minds and supporting them in whatever it is that they want to do. Without getting into much detail, that sounds kind of bland, but he loves coaching, we'll say that, right? And he asked, well, what platform should I focus on? And the answer to that, it's a loaded question, right? You've been told probably or you probably heard or you've read in some form or fashion that you should be everywhere right now. You should be posting on every platform. And there's how many different platforms now? There's YouTube, there's podcasts, there's blogs, there's vlogs, there's publications, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Pinterest, there's SlideShare, there's all of these places, right, that you can share your content. How do you decide which ones to focus on? Well, my answer to that is always the same. And my answer is focus on your platform. In this case, when I say that, I'm thinking website, but I know everybody doesn't have a website. We'll get into that in a little bit. But why is this important? One of the reasons that this is so important is that when you use someone else's platform, for example, when Facebook had massive organic reach, people were building businesses very rapidly because they could reach a lot of people by posting content, sharing their information, engaging in the community, yada, yada, yada. You guys know that step. However, when Facebook learned how to monetize and it created these algorithms, the reach for companies instantly dropped. And many of businesses, in fact, the majority of those businesses crumbled because they had instant drops in revenue. Well, when you lose reach, you lose revenue, you lose access to a lot of people who are already purchasing from you. And in the grand scheme of things, it killed a lot of people's businesses. That is one huge reason. We're seeing it actually with Amazon right now. A lot of people do business through Amazon. Well, during COVID, Amazon, I believe, if I remember right, don't quote me on this, they increased the commission that they receive, or the percentage that they receive from the vendors who are doing business on their platform. And that's another problem, right? So if you can and you understand this, you can use those platforms. Like right now, TikTok is a wide open platform. If you can get on there, build a bunch of reach so that you can build your own platform or migrate a lot of people from TikTok to your platform, then you could probably get a big benefit from it by taking advantage of those platforms while they're wide open in terms of reach, and then utilize that to really grow and sustain your business. However, most people do not do that. We're not savvy enough. We just hear that, TikTok is the place to be, like Facebook was back in the day, or like Amazon kind of currently is. And we start doing business on there, and we never utilize that to build our own platform, expand our platform, support our own platform. In the grand scheme of things. And anytime that platform changes where we're doing business on, but it's not owned by us, then it can totally affect our business. So that's the number one reason that I say focus on your platform. Number two reason is that you want high quality content on your website. When you're spending all your time creating content for Facebook and LinkedIn and Pinterest and whatever platforms that you're on, you're taking away from time that could be generating traffic to your website. So if I was to choose an order for you, this is what it would look like. Number one is focus on your platform, right? Your blog, your vlog, your audio, and post all of that on your website first. Then use what I call your primary platforms, so your primary social media platforms. So home base is your website. Your primary platforms are your top one or two. And if you're a bigger company, I'm speaking normally to coaches, consultants, speakers, and trainers who are usually solo professionals doing it all by themselves, or they have a very small team. Like a micro business of 10 or less employees, or maybe 25 or less employees. So they don't have a lot of hands on deck. And that's why I say focus on primarily one or two of these platforms where you can distribute that content that you had on your home base to those one or two primary places, and engage as much as you possibly can in those posts, those feeds, those groups, etc. If you can handle both of those, then you can add secondary platforms. Secondary platforms are the social media sites or some of these other content-driven sites in which you're not getting a lot of traffic, but it's generating some consistency for you, or other platforms that you want to test. If you want to, you can even take out some of those testing groups and move that to a fourth group. So it would look like your home-based platform, your primary platform, your secondary platforms, and then your testing platforms, right? And that is kind of the layout. And here's what it would look like from a content strategy standpoint. Create the content on your home base, distribute those normal links on your primary websites, engage as much as you can in all of those different areas. If you do that at a high level, distribute that same content to secondary platforms. If you're doing that at a high level, same thing, engage as much as you can in all the groups, the posts, the feeds, etc. And then do that same thing to testing. If you can handle all of that, that is awesome. Another way you can do it is post home base first. When you're handling that, you're doing that really well and really consistently. Primary platforms, engage in all the groups, posts, feeds, etc. And then you can actually go back, repurpose some of the content from your blogs, from that vlog, from that audio for the week, into little snippets, little bold statements, little facts. Turn those into social media posts and post those on your primary. bringing them all back to that same post, same post, same vlog, same blog, same vlog, same audio, creating this like traffic loop, because not everyone's going to click on the direct link. But if you create a powerful statement or these little social media posts or snippets, audio snippets, video snippets that talk to some of the powerful statements that you said, some of the facts that you said, that may draw interest that bring them back to your site. And so it's this loop, right? The other piece I want to throw in there is email. So email should come once you have traffic that is actually subscribing into your email community. And so as you're doing this distribution of all of this content to your primary, secondary, and testing, depending upon how far you graduate in each one of those, people are hopefully going to opt in, join your community. As soon as that starts to happen, it should be home base, email, then distribution. And what I mean by that is really that email is primarily part of your home base. So it should be blog, vlog, audio, email community. You should get all of that stuff in some form or fashion, or at least direct them towards that stuff. And then go to primary, secondary, and testing platforms. If you don't have a website, then you have a couple options. I think personal outreach is awesome. We don't have enough people who actually really truly do that in an authentic way. So if you can authentically reach out to people, invite them to receive emails from you about a specific topic. If they say yes, then I would join a email service provider that's individual, just so you can distribute that content that you create, which in this case would just be an email, to those people on a consistent basis. Then bring in your primary platforms. And in this case, I would pick one that becomes kind of your secondary home base. Because in this case, your email would be your primary home base, but then you would have a place where you would want them to maybe engage a little bit more with each other as a community. And that place could be a LinkedIn group, a social media group of some sort, Facebook group. It could be a forum that you're on somewhere, something like that. It could be a meetup group. It could be a variety of things. But the whole key here is to have a home base first, wherever that is, primarily a website. If you don't have a website, I would say focus on email. If you haven't built the email list yet, pick a social media platform, preferably one that doesn't lack reach. So what I mean by that is the algorithms on Facebook are extreme and you're not going to get a great reach from it. And so if possible, probably move towards LinkedIn, especially if you're a business professional, and create a group there, because the reach on LinkedIn is a lot better right now. And so take advantage of that and use that as the opportunity to get people into your email, which then you pitch them the opportunity to work with you in some form or fashion, or buy something from you, a product or service that then helps support the build out of your true home-based platform, a website. When you build a website, that website should be initially, if you're struggling, to build one, it should be just a one page with some important pieces on it. I won't get into that right now, but that could be something we talk about later. And from there, you're ready to go. It's distribute on a consistent basis. When you do that, that leads to email subscribers, or at least a community somewhere online in which you can present them the opportunities to buy, right? That should happen after you've continued to build the relationship through content that actually brings value and solves their problems or fulfills their needs in some form or fashion. So that is what platform you should focus on. I hope that helps. This piece of the pie, platform in general, really lands in kind of the middle of the ground gamut of the steps it takes to get to a very successful brand. Prior to building that platform, you really want to use the research that you get from these groups, from this community, to identify who your ideal customer is, help that hone the brand messaging, help that identify how you can differentiate, and get that really tight before you build the website. Once you build the website and it has that tight messaging, the tight understanding of your audience, the tight understanding of your brand, the tight understanding of how you differentiate from your competitors, is going to be huge in the process as you continue to build your own platform. So I hope that helps. If you have questions, or if you want to reach out to me for any support in that, feel free to comment below, like this video, share it. This is the goods behind the scene of how you kind of do that in a quick gist answer. This is kind of like a one-on-one Q&A here. So take that, and if you apply it, put your link below. I want to check it out. I want to take a look. Feel free to message me. I'm happy to contact you and talk and support you in any way I can. And until next time, I'm out.